I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
I'm Carlton.
And this is The Coin Show. Today on The Coin Show, bought some new coins you want to share with your friends? Would you like to share your pictures over the internet? Matt gives us some tips on how. Also in Coins 101, we talk about how to handle your coins, and should you handle your coins. A little discussion for our beginners. But first, I'm going to take a look at the news. Matt, there's been a lot of news in the coin world this week, and I'll start out. The United States Mint and their America the Beautiful quarters sets are now available in a 3-coin set with an uncirculated P and an uncirculated D and an S-Mint coin of each one. These are going to be individually packaged, and they're going to be released by the Mint on May 19th, 2010. You can, of course, get them by calling the Mint. But this is kind of a departure from what the Mint's been doing in their packaging lately, and they're kind of offering singles now to people that want to fill in their collections completely. What do you guys think of that?
I don't know. I think the Mint's been slowly changing their packaging up for about the last 10 years. I think every 2 or 3 years we have something new that's being offered from the Mint.
I think it's becoming a lot more collector-friendly, though. They're starting to think more in terms of collectors, I think, because they're putting out more of these packages that cater to specific niches, like when last year they had the Lincoln Cents come out. They did a special proof set of just them. They've done it with the presidential dollars. They've done it with the statehood quarters all along.
Sure, but putting out singles, don't you think that's going to be kind of stepping on like coin dealers' territory where they would normally fill that void, I guess?
To be really, really honest, I really don't think that the Mint gives a whole lot of thought about the dealers.
Yeah, they don't.
Well, let's see. Matt, coming from a dealer.
Oh, as a coin dealer, I actually never did sell state quarters or America the Beautiful quarters. So to me, it doesn't affect my business a lot. But I know a lot of guys that if they do put out the singles, it's going to cause them to not carry the coins anymore in single form.
There you go. Carlton, you want to start with one?
Oh, sure thing. So one of the news articles that just came up yesterday is that the title of World's Most Valuable Coin has just changed.
Really?
Previously it had been, of course, the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle. It is now the 1794 First Silver Dollar, PCGS SP66.
Satin Proof 66, can you imagine?
Just changed hands for $7.85 million.
Is that going to be a record until they sell the 33 again? Or...
Well, I've been thinking that the 33 was not going to be the most valuable coin, assuming that the federal government releases those 10 other examples that they have right now from the family.
The Langboard family?
Yeah. And since precedent is that they will eventually get released, I think that we're going to see a deposing of the 1933 forever.
Okay, now
but the government said they would never do that.
We have Carlton's position on that. My position is this. I don't think the government is ever going to give up this ghost. I think that they saw an opportunity with the other specimen, the single specimen, that they'd take a chance going to court on it, and they may get it, they may not get it. If they didn't get it, they know that they would lose all the rest of the 33s. I think without the Farouk export license for the Fenton coin, that you're going to have a problem with the other 10 and proving that they're legal to own. And I think the Mint, or at least the government at this point, this is purely my opinion, is taking the tack of it's going to be easier to prove that we own these coins, and we're going to try and stomp out these. I don't think they're going to give this one up. I think they'll let this one go all the way to trial, whereas with the Fenton coin, they wouldn't.
I assume they will too, but my point is simply that from the family's perspective, that precedent so far is that these coins are in fact legal, that they were legally possessed, and that they should be released to them, even if it's under some kind of agreement with the federal government as to how to split the funds.
Okay, you are familiar with the fact that the Langboard family goes all the way back. What was the name of the Mint worker?
The Israel Swit was the dealer.
Swit was the dealer. Yeah, but he knew somebody inside the mint.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
Oh yeah, I can't remember that name offhand
that's
either.
where they think the 10 of them came from. Was
Yeah.
they were taken out of the
think
mint, and they can trace them all the way back to the mint.
I think Swit originally said that he got them at the gold exchange window at the actual the mint.
But yet they didn't turn up for 10 years afterwards.
Yeah.
That was also because at that point it was essentially illegal to own gold, except for like 5 pieces, $100 worth.
Yeah.
To be honest,
And there are others. They believe there are other coins out there, 33s. There's photographs of coins that exist that are not shown in this hoard or that are the Farouk coin either. So.
Well, I honestly think there's a couple of 60-40 peace dollars out there too. These coins have a tendency of going underground.
Absolutely, when the federal government is confiscating them and melting them. But like, that's my point, is now that there's an established precedent as to what to do with these coins now, since the act that restricts the amount of gold that you can have has been repealed. At that point, why would the federal government not be forced to hand these coins over?
Why does the federal government continue to collect income tax every year? Because they can. Yep. I don't know. I just think it's one of those where I don't see the government giving up on this anytime soon. And I think that they might be, this is just my speculation, my pontificating, that they might see it as a more worthwhile pursuit and a better chance of winning than they ever did with the Fenton coin. But only time will tell. We'll have to see what goes on.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera for dorks.
Yeah. For coin dorks, that's us.
Yeah. Coin dork, that's me.
Well, I was going to say, well, as long as those examples are still even in some kind of limbo, I think we're still going to see other coins come forward that are going to go for more money than the one 1933 that is legal to own.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with that one more. I think that the longer this takes, the more chance that there is that things are going to come to light, that other coins, people are going to try and test the waters while there's still a question about these. Let's see, what else we have? Coin World reported last week that the mint has resumed production of dimes and nickels for 2010 date. Do you know what this means to me?
No, what's that?
Okay. What it means to me is that the mint finally needs 2010 coins because they're finally placing all the 2009s into circulation.
And I can corroborate that as well. I have a customer of mine that's he works in the back of a truck for Brinks, and he's saying that they're starting to see '09 nickels and dimes showing up in the back of their trucks just within the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks.
The giant hype period is over.
For 2009, it begins for 2010.
Well, I'll tell you what, it should be a lesson to everybody, though, that, the stuff is there. They made millions and millions and millions of them. There's no need to pay $80 for a P Mint nickel. It's just not smart. So the fact that the Mint has reported that they have produced 54.5 million 2010 dimes. So that's about half the mintage of the 2010D, and probably right around the same mintage as 2010P. And so far they've struck 1.68 million 2010D Jefferson's nickels, but they haven't struck anything at the Philadelphia Mint.
Key date. Oh my God.
Yeah, 2009. Everybody get your key date. But I also think that it says that our economy is starting to come back. And that's really, really important. Let's get some more minor coinage out there. I think people have emptied their penny jars and all the other loose change that they've got running around, and now they're down to whatever they can find to spend. But it's good to see. It really is, because it's a good boost for the hobby to have current year coins. It also is, in my opinion, a really good idea to not have a lot of these TV hucksters that are pushing off satin minted coins as, the end-all be-all. These are far, 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 far rarer than the normal circulation coins. No, I gotta say coins.
You sound just like him, man. That's good.
I'm doing my best. I've been working on that one for a while. But no, it's one of those things where me as a collector and sometimes working shows and things like that, I see these people that are coming in with these rolls of matte finished nickels and dimes, and they're like, yeah, dude, look what I got. And I'm like, you realize where they got those? They busted up like 15 million mint sets. Everybody wants the cents, everybody wants the quarters, everybody wants the halves, and everybody wants the dollars. These are the leftovers. This is the garbage. This is,
Yeah. Junque, junk.
That's what they try to frame it as. Carlton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll wait for him in my change. Thanks.
Next.
All right. Let's see
All
here.
right. Doesn't sound like we're beating on you or anything.
Well, I've got two to choose from now, so I guess
Might as well, Pooh.
we'll go ahead with the Israel mint's first bullion coin in gold.
Okay.
Just kind of interesting, I thought. It's going to be a series featuring various historic sites around Jerusalem. So the first one features the Tower of David, and yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting since
Now who's
I like
releasing it?
this. What's it?
The Israeli mint?
Yeah, there's Israel Coin and Metals Corporation, which does all the Israeli coins.
Okay, so that's like their version of the mint.
Yeah.
And they're going to be produced in what kind of metal?
0.999 gold, 1 ounce rounds.
Now, are they doing this to compete with like the American Eagles, or?
I don't know, like if they were doing that, you'd think they'd be in silver, and it is limited to I think it said 30,000 or 3,600 coins. So it's
Okay,
I think
so
it's
this
more
is
meant to
probably more
be.
going to be a collector's issue then.
Yeah, if anything, it's meant to more compete with like the ultra high relief type coin. But
That ultra high relief went over really well, didn't it?
yeah,
Actually, a lot of people say somebody was saying something about the what do they call it? The enabling legislation called for it to only be made in gold the first year, and after that for it to be made in like platinum or something like that. But
Palladium, actually, I believe.
palladium, that was it. Palladium.
Yep.
Yeah, because we have that giant palladium mine someplace, I'm sure.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, actually.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
I
That's out
believe
by
so.
Carlton in Lower Canada.
It's a silver and palladium, I believe.
What do they
all
use
those
palladium
western
for anyway?
states.
I mean, other than
What,
coins,
palladium?
obviously, yes.
Palladium is used in the auto industry.
I thought
Yeah,
that was platinum.
Well, they use
catalytic
that too.
converters, I think, or something like
No,
that.
that's
catalytic
platinum.
converter's
Palladium they use for other stuff, but I know it's used in the auto industry as well.
Cool.
And they make pretty Canadian maple leafs out of them.
Yes, they do. I still haven't figured out what they're good for, but yes, they do.
Doorstops.
No, that's the God. Let's try that
Oh.
again. That's the Indianapolis Colts championship rings. That's a doorstop.
Well, at least they have one.
Yeah, they have one. Also in the news, the United States Mint has issued its last opportunity for people to buy mint proof sets from 2009, silver proof sets from 2009, uncirculated coin sets from 2009, and 2-roll sets from Professional Life, the LP3, and Presidency LP4. They are going to discontinue these Tuesday, June 15th. So if anybody is dying to stock up on the last of these mint sets and proof sets, then by all means you're going to have to. I don't know how many you guys bought, but I think that, if you look at the mint numbers on them for how many they made, they don't seem to have sold many more of them than they have in the past, which is kind of cool because, in my opinion, I think these sets are going to do well if for nothing else than the cents. Them being made out of copper or bronze, actually.
Sure, yeah.
The mint sets, the proof sets, and the uncirculated sets all have those bronze cents in them. And irrespective of the fact that they have a satin finish on them, I think that they're going to do well if for nothing else than that particular attribute.
Sure, yeah, I think so too. I think that it's one of the biggest sets ever too, I believe. The largest proof set ever, was that 2009?
Well, it is.
I believe so, with the pennies, the quarters, of the...
Yeah,
and
you
then
got
the
the
other two
dollars,
sets,
dollars, the cents. You got $5, 4 cents, 6 quarters, and then you've got your nickel, dime, half, and
a partridge in a pear tree.
No kidding. I mean, it's the only the only proof set I can think of that's bigger than that's the 1873, and I don't think they packaged them for the public. So.
But yeah, there you go. That's another attribute of the set that I think is different than any other year. It's the biggest proof set ever. So
you'd think that either they're trying to go price prohibitive on these and make them so expensive that people won't buy as many of them, or they're going to have to go the exact opposite direction and go much more cost effective and make it so that people want them, because this, like for example, the $53 for a silver proof set is starting to get a little out of hand. when the only coins in there that are silver are the nickel diamond 6/4. You know,
The half wasn't silver.
I mean, the half diamond 6/4, the nickel isn't made out of silver. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so you've basically got 8 coins in there that are silver, and you're charging an additional $23 for it. I don't know if I.
Well, it's because it's silver.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, is there that much silver in there?
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, Consumer Reports, I don't think is going to rate it as a Best Buy. You know, collectors like me, I'm going to buy it all day long, but I don't see it as a budget buy. Carlton, what else you got for us?
All right, my last piece of news is actually a little bit old, but I found it kind of interesting. There's a new organization that was just established at the beginning of the month. Numismatists United for Political Action, or NUPA, is the new organization with the goal of representing coin collectors, coin dealers, and everybody in the industry in Washington. So far, their stated goals are they want to get the meant to release 2010 Silver Eagles, and then that on a upcoming piece of legislation, there was an issue with bullion sales that the government agency that oversees that wanted to make it a $2 delivery period for bullion sales, which they felt was kind of ridiculous.
So do you see them more as like a lobbying group, or are they going to be...
Yeah, that, as opposed to... Sorry.
Well, as opposed to just more of a representative, you know, coin dealer or coin advocate. Lobbying group is going to be somebody that's pretty much going to involve themselves with Congress and trying to influence legislation versus somebody who is, you know, just more like the ANA, more of an advocate.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted to set themselves apart from the ANA and different organizations like that. For one, they point out that a lot of organizations like the ANA have specific regulations regarding spending money for political groups. So I do think it's specifically targeted towards lobbying individuals of Congress. My question is just whether or not we actually need it.
Well, I can kind of handle that question. I think that we do need it just because of the influx of Chinese counterfeits lately requires, in my opinion, some sort of new legislation. And to have a group that would lobby towards something like that would be great.
Yeah. Like I said, so far they only have the 2 issues that they've specifically pointed out that they're targeting. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there. So far, except for a little flurry of action right there at the beginning of the month, it doesn't seem like they've done a whole lot, at least from what they've posted to their website.
What would you like to see them do as far as the Chinese counterfeits, though, Matt? That's interesting.
I think that legislation should be passed that a replica coin must have the word copy be integral to the die itself and not hand punched. If it's hand punched, it is no longer legal. It has to be a part of the die to be considered legal.
I think my question that it raises, though, is that if stuff's coming in from China and that's the primary problem, how is any legislation in our country going to affect that?
Well, the main source of this stuff is through eBay auctions. That's where most of it's coming from, or where it started from, or where it blossomed at, and where everybody found out about it. If you make it illegal for eBay to allow hand-punched coins on their website, then at least you're going to turn down the tap, if not off, as far as allowing unscrupulous people to buy those coins and then market them as original pieces. That's the problem with them. People are buying the coins as counterfeits. They are not marking them when they ship them into the country, and then people are passing them off inside the country as genuine pieces.
So you think that the overwhelming majority of people that are selling these are the people that are selling them unscrupulously? They're buying them in bulk from the Orient and then kind of bringing them here to sell them.
Yes, that's exactly what's happening, and that's exactly the problem.
Cool. Well, that's something that somebody definitely needs to address. And I want to remind our listeners that if you have any stories you'd like us to cover, or if you have suggestions on things that you'd like to hear in the news, please feel free. Take us into our Facebook page, put something on the fan page, just post something to the wall that you'd like to hear, that you'd like us to cover.
CoinShowRadio.com. Okay, guys. Today I just wanted to cover coin photography. I know it's something that I see lots of questions asked about, and I know when I first started doing this, if I bought a really cool coin or something that I liked a lot, I wanted to show people, especially, in the online age. You run into people that share your same interest and you want to show them your new coins. So I thought today I would kind of do a quick covering of basic coin photography. The most important thing about coin photography, in my opinion, is to try to make your coin look in a picture how it looks in your hand. And this is one of the hardest things to do, simply because the way the light affects coins, brightness and darkness, it can really make your coin look completely different than it looks in your hand, and that's really not what you want. The camera that I use personally is a Canon 40D, which is an SLR camera. SLR stands for single lens reflex. It means that you are taking the picture through the same lens that you are looking through, so that your picture is going to look exactly how it does through your viewfinder. This is a big advantage because you can adjust your lighting accordingly, and also you don't have to deal with the pixelization that you get through some other cameras that are using a sensor instead of the actual lens that you're shooting through.
Framing the picture also becomes a whole lot easier too when you see what you're going to
shoot.
Yeah, you shoot it.
Yep. Definitely. Now, the SLR cameras can be kind of expensive. So if you don't want to go out and spend the money on an SLR camera, at least make sure that the digital camera you're going to be using has what's called a macro setting. It looks like a little flower. It's meant for taking close-up pictures, which obviously if you're taking a picture of a coin, it's going to be a close-up. The other important thing when taking pictures of your coins, if you have an SLR camera, is your lighting. They make a lens that does the same function basically as the macro setting on your digital camera, and it's called a macro lens. This is my lens personally is an 80 millimeter, which is pretty long, but it's only meant for taking pictures of things about a foot away, which is really good for getting into really close-ups of varieties and double dyes and repunch mint marks. But one of the most important things is how you light your coins. Personally, I use 2 sunlight lamps, which give off kind of a blue color, which in my camera settings, there is a way to actually compensate for that blue color, and it will make your pictures look pretty good when it's done. Another thing that we use here at the shop is photo editing software to, just tweak the pictures a little bit and actually to make them look even more like the coin does in hand. I personally use Photoshop, which I think is what most people use.
I can tell you from the tech standpoint that Photoshop is a fabulous program.
Yeah, I love it.
I just started taking a lot of pictures of my coins, as you've seen. That 95 double die and stuff like that. And, I'm about as amateur a photographer with coins as you could possibly get. And what I'm finally learning is that, you take a good, rich picture, something with really, really high resolution as you can get, and then you can use the coin editing software to zoom in on the picture so that you get this really nice big image of the coin. You don't necessarily have to fill the frame with it in your picture when you're taking it. Mm-hmm. You just use the coin editing software. And I don't know why it took me so long to catch on to that, but now that I have, it's like it's made a night and day difference between the pictures that I take.
Yep. Another thing that I recommend that you use too, and we use this here in the shop as well, is a copy stand. Copy stands are great because they allow you to mount your camera at a certain height and then actually use it and be able to step away from it as the picture is taking to reduce shaking and any distortion that you physically are going to cause to the camera. So I highly recommend a copy stand. And that's all I had, guys. I think that, just a few tips and tricks to better picture taking can help everybody out. So that's what I had.
Carlton, do you take pictures of your coins?
Oh, every once in a while. My problem is that my setup that I use, I can't leave up on a permanent basis, so I usually wait until I have a few coins that I want to photograph and then have to set it all up and do it again. The one thing, I'll say a few things here. I don't have a digital SLR camera or anything like that. I just have like a terrible little $100 job from
point and shoot
Target. Yeah, essentially. The one thing, like Matt mentioned, is that your camera really does have to have a macro feature, absolutely, to take photographs of your coins. But after that, it's pretty forgiving what you could use to get various effects. I just use a couple different lamps, just make sure that they have the same bulb in there to light from 2 different directions. I just use the standard the standard Windows programming for editing pictures. I don't use Photoshop or anything like that to adjust my colors. And then the other thing is that I just went out and bought a $5 tripod. It's pretty cheap, and it's kind of flimsy for all the way standing up, but for just like short range, the macro stuff for doing your coins, it's just as effective, I think, as a copy stand. So there are definitely, I would say, cheaper alternatives if you don't want to go straight to the high-end setup for photographing your coins.
I have basically two problems taking pictures. One is lighting. I think lighting's really, really one of the key things, because it's going to determine whether or not, your coin looks decent or not at all.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of the hardest things to master, is how to light your coins.
Well, keep the shadows out of it and all that other kind of stuff. The other thing that I really have a problem with is just shaky hands. I go to take stuff and I literally have to anchor my hands so I can take the pictures. But man, it makes a huge difference, just getting close to it and using the software for it.
But yeah, like I recommend, man, that copy stand's great. It's when I first started using that copy stand, it was night and day in the difference between my photography, just because instead of having to take 5 pictures to get the right focus, you could just take one, and it's always set the same way every time. So,
well, you know what I've been using to light my coins when I take the pictures lately has been sunlight, just natural sunlight. I have a big picture window, and I get in front of it so that the natural light's behind me. And I've been using that because I can't seem to find a light setup that gives me the even lighting I want.
Oh, natural light's the best light, man. If you have the option to use natural light, I would recommend it, actually.
Well, you saw the pictures of 95 double die. And I was taking
good
natural
pictures.
Sunlight. So I'm proud of those. Those are probably the best coin pictures I've ever taken.
Yeah. And practice, another thing. Practice makes perfect on that stuff.
I would imagine so.
I actually yesterday, one of the hardest coins to photograph is a proof coin and make it look like it does in your hand. It's a nightmare. I was photographing a gold brick dollar for one of my customers yesterday, and that coin, even with the setup and everything that I have, still probably took me about 40 shots to get the right picture. So proof coins can be a nightmare, especially the older proof type stuff. Oh man.
Oh, try getting a cameo contrast into a picture as well.
Oh, and shooting through slabs too can be a big nightmare if they're scratched or.
Yeah, I mean, that filters it. Is that on the coin?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's actually one thing that I found that works pretty well to help get rid of some of the scratches is a product called Meguiar's Plastic. It is a polish that is meant to polish headlights in cars, and you can actually get out minor scratches on slabs with this stuff. So I always treat my slabs with that before we photograph them.
Now, see, that's a good tip. That's a great tip.
Oh, you should see the coin shop, man. There is shells of former lighting experiments everywhere. I made a ring light one time out of a bathroom lighting fixture, and I cut a hole in the middle of it to stick the lens through. So.
Oh, cool. My mom had one of these sewing lights that has the fluorescent light with the big magnifying glass in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Bust out the magnifying glass. Maybe I could do that. It'll light around it, and you could take the picture through the middle.
It's good for taking pictures of circulated coins because there are no shadows. The pictures come out kind of flat. You need to add a little contrast to them.
And I would imagine if you used fluorescent light, it'd come out blue.
Yeah, it comes out a funky color, but also it doesn't show any luster. It just eats up luster, so that's why it's only good for taking pictures of circulated coins.
Yeah, because luster might be a little bit important.
Just a little, yeah.
In Coins 101 today, we're going to talk about handling coins. How do you handle them? Do you handle them? And how do you store them? Guys, I've been thinking about handling coins and handling coins for beginners, and basically what I've come to think about is that I would put coin collectors on a continuum between people that are conservators and people that are casual collectors. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the casual collector because most of what they're going to do is be putting like cents into a Whitman folder, popping them in without much regard for the coins, the condition of the coins, and things like that. A lot of your collectors are going to collect things by date and mint mark just when they start out, and this is where a majority of those kind of collectors are going to fall in. But if you move more towards the other end of the spectrum, this is where you're going to find like your investors and your high-end collectors. And they're what I like to call conservators of coins because their primary interest is going to be in keeping a coin in as absolutely pristine condition as it was when they got it. A lot of collectors like me, I don't look at me as an owner of a coin. I look at myself as a conservator. I'm there to preserve this coin for future generations so that they can enjoy it in pretty much as nice a condition as what I got. So that's where I fit in on that continuum. I also think that the investors fit in on that high end because it behooves them for the coin to remain in as high end condition as is possible. But if we were going to talk about handling coins, I think I would rather talk about it more from a conservator's perspective. How do you handle your coins without doing any damage to them whatsoever, and can you? Now, the conventional wisdom has always been to handle your coins with cotton gloves. Matt, you handle a lot of coins in that shop, raw coins.
Yes. Do
you use cotton gloves?
No.
What do you use?
No, I sure don't. I use my bare hands, which is probably not a good thing. I know.
You're a coin dealer.
Okay. I know, my friend, but it's high-end stuff. I try not to handle, actually, if I can, to be honest with you.
You know what I found is a really, really good thing? You go into your local drugstore, Walgreens, any type of medical supply house, and buy yourself a box full of powder-free latex gloves. You can handle the coins all you want with latex gloves on because none of the oils from your fingers are going to get through. You won't leave fingerprints behind, you won't leave marks behind, and generally, on the whole, you don't have to worry too much about handling. You have to worry about dropping them, and of course, if you're handling other rough things, getting holes in the latex and stuff. But, I found it to be really, really good transferring coins from 2x2 to 2x2 or any other storage method that I want so that I'm not absolutely deathly afraid, of taking for example, that 95 double die. It's a nice red coin. And the worst thing for a red cent is any type of oil or any type of contaminant, and yet I had to take it out of the 2x2 to photograph it. I had to hold it, things like that. So that would be my best suggestion, would be to use gloves, traditionally cotton gloves, but to be honest with you, this is the 21st century. I'd say go straight for the latex, but you got to make sure that you get powder-free. Powder-free gloves are really everything, because any type of foreign substance that you get onto the coin is a bad deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As far as storing your coins, well, let's go back to handling them. Handling coins, you should always handle coins by the edges. If you don't want to damage the coin in any way, if you don't want to affect the surfaces, as Matt will tell you, the condition of a coin, the surface condition of a coin is everything. And eye appeal in the higher grades feeds into it in a large, large amount. So you want to make sure that, you don't disturb the condition of the coin, because the difference between 67 and 68 in a particular coin can be as much as, $500,000, $5,000. And somebody at some point is going to have to handle these coins. Be it the graders at PCGS, NGC, whatever. Eventually somebody is going to handle the coins. So, in my opinion, knowing how to handle them correctly, it's an ace in your hole. It really is. It's something that you don't have to worry so much about it. It brings you more into control of what you're doing.
Sure. I just wanted to add one thing. Another thing that I never do over coins is actually talk. That's one thing that you can. I don't know how many people know this, but most carbon spots are actually caused by spit droplets that come out of your mouth and land on coins and react with the surface of the coin. So if you have your coins on a table unprotected and you have to sneeze, or if you're talking to somebody, don't. Obviously you got to sneeze, you can turn away, but be very, very careful about controlling where your spit lands, because you can end up with a big nasty carbon spot on your favorite coin.
So you're saying Ann Landers wouldn't be really good around coins?
No, definitely not.
The other thing about storage, there's two things about storage that I really want to say about your coin storage. One is always use appropriate storage. Mylar 2x2s are probably the industry standard. It's what most people use. The only thing with Mylar 2x2s is staples. Everybody closes them with staples, and you just have to be careful with staples going in. Be careful with the staples going out before you pull the coin out. My suggestion is remove the staples entirely from the holder. I have a really, really nice three-legged buffalo in beautiful AU condition that's got a staple scratch about a centimeter long in the middle of the buffalo. And I bought it that way.
That's the worst.
Oh, it's absolutely just, it's a crime because the coin is beautiful, but it also got me a hell of a deal on it. The coin is just, it's phenomenal to look at, but, you know, the first thing I see every time I look at it is that big staple scratch.
That's when I was first started doing the coin shop, before I really took the time to sit and really learn about a lot of stuff. I put a giant scratch across the front of an AU 1894 O Morgan. And
did somebody take you in the back and correct you?
I learned my lesson the hard way, yeah. But I found, actually, if you're going to use staples, there's a company called Max that makes a flat clinch stapler that the staples actually go through and become flush with the cardboard instead of having a little lump. And that's where your staple scratches come from, is sliding coins in boxes with other coins that have staples. You can actually drag it across there. So it's called a Max flat clinch stapler, if you haven't heard of it.
And he's going to be waiting for the people from Max to send him one of those staplers anytime soon.
I was thinking 3, but that's okay.
Okay, well, you know, I'll take one. The other thing about storage I'd like to say is that, you know, PVC is your coin's enemy. And, you know, a lot of people like soft plastic flips to put their coins in. You have to submit your coins to like PCGS in a flip rather than in a 2x2. And the biggest thing for amateurs is going to be telling the difference between one with PVC and one without. The PVC is going to leave a really nice green gunk on your coins and will basically ruin the surfaces of them forever. You definitely don't want PVC damage onto your coins. And as you look through some of the raw coins when you're at your next coin show or something like that, take a look, because you'll see it. It's really pretty easy to see. Look at any silver coin. You see green stuff on it. That's PVC slime. And it's definitely something that you want to avoid.
Again, there is a test to tell if your holders have PVC in them or not.
Really?
I don't know if you knew that
that's good,
or not. Yes.
Good tip. Let's have it.
You take a pen and get it red hot, and take one of the holders that you're thinking about putting your coins in, and get a pin and get it red hot, and melt a little bit of that plastic on the end of your coin, or on the end of your pin, and then put that coin in an open flame. If it burns green, it has PVC. If it doesn't burn green, there's low or little or none PVC in the piece.
So as long as it doesn't have PVC, soft flips are still okay?
Yeah. Okay. Most of them do, but
yeah, that was my impression. Was
if
that
it
most
doesn't,
of the softer flips have PVC in them. So
if it doesn't burn kind of a green tint, then you're okay.
See, my general rule was to stay away from soft flips. I tend to like 2x2s just because I'm an amateur and I really didn't know how to tell the difference between the two. Maybe now I do.
Yep.
Learn something new every day, right, Carlton?
Oh yeah.
Our correspondent in Lower Canada is still there. Good. The last note that I'd like to share on storing coins is to store them in a cool, dry place, away from woods or anything that's going to give off any type of gases or fumes. I can't tell you how many times I've seen coins that have been improperly stored, even in slabs. They won't protect them from being in some place that gives off sulfur, for example, which will turn your coins just a really, really nasty color. I just bought a proof set on eBay, and the guy, advertised them as original proof sets. I've had them since they were new. And when I opened the things up, the coins are all toned. Well, the coins are toned because they were improperly stored. So, where you keep your coins is really important, and almost as important as anything else.
Yeah, there really is no holder that's airtight. Even slabs are not airtight.
And especially not the ones they call airtights.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know if you saw a post I made on Coin Talk last week, but I have a 2008 Silver Eagle in an MS-70 holder on my desk that has developed milk spots in the holder. So
I did see that, as a matter of fact.
It's going to be going back to NGC for an appearance review, simply because I've never been through the process, and I think that this is a coin that deserves an appearance review. So I'm going to try it out and see how it works.
And on that note, if you'd like to contact us, make suggestions on things you'd like to hear, please post a comment to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/thecoinshow or at coinshowradio.com. That'll forward you to our Facebook page where you can download our podcast and become a fan, or just write an opinion about coins or the show or about the hosts. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
I'm Carlton.
And we will see you next time on The Coin Show. And watch all the people looking at me like, you scum.
You missed.
It's easy for you to say.
Mike, did you mute yourself again? Check the button.
Huh? If they looked at it at the end of it and said, well,
the
you know
coin
what?
show.
We might have been better
Than nothing.
The coin. That's our new motto. The coin show. Better than what you were listening to.
The coin show. It doesn't suck so bad.
God. Okay.
How long has it been since the Bears won a Super Bowl?
1985. That's close enough. We had
relatively
the
respectable.
With the coach. You try winning one with the coach. It's not as easy as you'd think. Okay.
My sister's team could win the coach.
Wow. Is that mini coach or is that giant Ditka?
Okay, so who would win, Ditka or a Hurricane?
It depends. Is it mini Ditka or are we talking regular sized Ditka? See, now you're talking about my accent. Now you're getting into it. I can sit there and do that all day.